Everyone, welcome to today's video. Ooh, I have a fuzzy there. For today, we're going to be making this super cute congratulations card. This one is so absolute stinking adorable. I cannot even stand it. I was searching on Pinterest just trying to get some like inspiration, and I found a card very similar to this. Really, it had the two people and that kind of stuff, and I'll link that post below, and that's really where I got the inspiration for this card. I changed it up a little bit and I definitely made it my own, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. But I just think this is an absolutely adorable idea. I cannot stand how much I love this card. It's so stinking cute. I wish I knew more people that were getting married so that I could just make like 500 of these. Okay, well maybe not, not really, but I love this card. I think it's absolutely adorable. I just realized I forgot to put that out there. Anyways, so to jump into what we're going to need to make this absolutely adorable card, we're going to be using two stamp sets for today, and the stamp sets that we're going to be using is the Custom Tee stamp set. This one is so stinking cute, and it's so versatile. You can use this for a ton of different things. I have seen so many great ideas using this. I just think that there is so much potential with this one. It's absolutely wonderful, and it comes in a bundle in the Occasions catalog with the t-shirt builder framelit, so you can actually cut out the little t-shirts and some of the embellishments. I just think it's so fun, and there's so much you can do with it. Like I said, this is just one example of what you can do. There's tons and tons of stuff, so I really recommend this one. This one's absolutely awesome. And then the other stamp set that we're going to be using is this Delicate Details. Now, this is in the Celebration catalog, so if you want this one, you should get your hands on it now because it's only going to be available for the next couple of months. And just to reiterate, in case you don't know what Celebration is, Stampin' Up! Has their best absolute most wonderful sale happening right now, where for every $50 you spend, you get to pick one item out of this fun little catalog. So there's a ton of stuff in here. We're actually coming out with even more products that are part of Celebration in the middle of the, I think it's February 21st. I could be wrong, but somewhere in February, somewhere around there, we're coming out with even more. And they're just absolutely amazing. And like I said, you spend $50 and you get the item absolutely free. So it's wonderful. So this is the Delicate Details, which is one of the stamps from the Celebration catalog. And you can only get this through that Celebration deal. So I would jump on it if you can, or if you want it, I would jump on it as soon as possible. This one's really awesome. And we're going to be using this for a fun little technique, a little embellishment. For ink, we're going to be using 3 different ink pads. We have our Versamark ink. I'm also using Mint Macaron and our basic black. Move those off to the side. We're going to be using our pearls. These are absolutely beautiful. I've had these before. And I kind of forgot about them, to be honest. I mean, I love pearls, so I had to jump on these right away, absolutely. But I have them, and I've actually went through a whole pack before, and I had this one, and I just kind of forgot about it. I think maybe I, like, used them too much to where I kind of just didn't want to touch them anymore. But I pulled these out because I think they go absolutely great with this little card. We're also going to be using, not clear, I don't know why I have clear embossing powder. We're going to be using our white embossing powder to do some embossing on the bride's shirt for this card. So that's a really fun little technique that I did. And then for our paper, I have just a scrap of Whisper White. This just needs to be large enough to cut out the like feminine t-shirt in the in that framelit set. So that's just a little scrap that I grabbed. I also have this little piece here, which is a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inches. We have some Mint Macaron, and this just needs to be a scrap as well. You really only need a tiny bit. We're not using this for much. I just happened to grab a scrap out of my scrap pile, and this is what I had handy. Then I have this piece of Designer Series paper, and this is from the Oh So Succulent suite. I love this checkered pattern in Sweet Sugar Plum. It's absolutely adorable. So this one is cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I have a couple pieces of Tip Top Taupe. Again, you just need a scrap for one of your pieces, just large enough to cut out the male shirt, and then to do a little, the little like collar piece. Oh, and I have dogs that might be going crazy. Nope, I think we're good. And then you need like a little scrap to do the collar piece. So you don't need a very big piece. Again, I just grabbed this out of my scrap bin. That's why I have such a large piece. And then we have our card base, which is also Tip Top Taupe. As usual, it's cut at 8.5 by 5.5. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start off, I think I'm going to start by doing the bride's shirt. And this is where I'm going to be using the Delicate Detail stamp. So I have this lace, and it is this stamp right here. Super beautiful. It's a closer together lace stamp, and the details are a little bit smaller, so I thought it worked really well with this one. We're going to take our little scrap of Whisper White, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my scratch piece of paper, and I'm going to use this stamp with my Versamark, and I'm basically just going to put them one right after another going down this piece of Whisper White. So I will say that this part is a little tricky just because it is kind of hard to see where exactly you're stamping with the Versamark. But I found that even when I thought I wasn't doing a great job, it ended up being fine. What I am doing, so the last time I did it with the straight edge up, now I'm just going to rotate my stamp and do the straight edge pointing down. Or towards me, I guess I shouldn't say. It's not really pointing anywhere. And then I'm just going to rotate it again. So now I have the straight edge up. And rotate again. And that just gives you a really nice pattern. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You can absolutely do it however you want. And if you didn't have the stamp set, you can totally omit this part. You don't have to do this. I just think that it adds a little bit of extra detail to the bridal shirt. Because there's not really a whole lot that you can add to the bridal shirt as far as embellishments go that really scream like bride. I mean, there's a bride-to-be, but for this one, I would use this more of like an actual wedding card for both the bride and the groom. So I didn't feel like a bride-to-be was very appropriate. That's just my personal opinion, at least. You can do whatever you want, obviously. It's totally your card. So sometimes, depending on your lighting and where you are working on your project, you can see where you stamped, and that helps. Like I said, I've just kind of been going for it, seeing what happens, and it's been working out okay. So now I'm just using my white embossing powder, and just tap, tap, tap. Now I have this piece just like so. And put the rest in here, and then I'm just going to use my heat tool to go ahead and heat set that. Okay, so that is all done. Let me put my heat tool away. So that is that. Now you could use a clear embossing powder and you'd get a very similar look. I'm using white just because, excuse me, I think white stands out a little bit better on the Whisper White cardstock. That's just my personal opinion, but you could use clear if you wanted to, or you could use whatever color embossing powder you had. I just think the lace gives it a more feminine look and it adds a little bit of something to the card. So I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side, and let's go ahead and stamp our other pieces that we're going to be cutting out using our dies and our Big Shot. So I'm going to take our scrap of Tip Top Taupe and our stamp here of the more masculine shirt, and I'm going to grab my basic black ink. And I'm just going to get this nice and inked up. Just like so. And then just stamp that down. And now we are going to add a couple things to this little shirt. For right now, I have this stamp here, which is like the buttons. So there's one side that has a button right at the top, and then one side that has kind of a little opening. I'm going to put the little opening at the bottom of the shirt and the button at the top of the shirt. But I'm just going to, again, use my basic black ink. Turn my stamp around here and line this up as best as possible. I'm so very sorry if you have my head in your view. And and just stamp that down just like that. Try not to rock it back and forth as much as possible. It is a thin stamp, so it's kind of hard to not rock it back and forth, but do your best. And as you can see, I didn't stamp it perfectly. Majority of this is going to be covered up by our tie, so I'm not super concerned about it looking perfect. And then the last piece that we're going to do in Tip Top Taupe is this little piece right here. Now it looks a little funky, but what it actually is the collar of the shirt. So I'm going to ink this up as well in basic black, and then I'm just going to stamp that off to the side just like so. So we're done with our Tip Top Taupe, so it's going to set this off to the side as well and bring in our piece of mint macaron. So we have two pieces that we're going to be stamping and cutting out in mint macaron. The first is this little, it's kind of lacy. It's actually the collar of a shirt. There's a couple, I think there's one or two. There's two in here. So there's one that's a little bit just plain, and then there's this one that's got a little bit more detail in it. So this is the one that we're going to use. I'm just going to ink that up again in our basic black and just stamp that right here on our mint macaron. Perfect. And then there's also a tie, and we're going to stamp this in basic black on our mint macaron as well. So this is going to be for the, sorry, I don't know what that noise is outside. This is going to be for the groom, and then that little collar obviously is going to be for the bride. So now that we have everything stamped, not everything, we have one other thing to stamp, but that's all the stuff that we need to stamp to cut out our images with our Big Shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fit all of these on my Big Shot plate at once. I need to grab my framelits, grab this. So these are all of our pieces, and we're using quite a few of these dies. So we're going to be using that shirt, the more feminine shirt over here, this piece right here, it's kind of funky looking. This is going to cut out that collar. And then we have this piece here that's going to cut out the feminine collar and the tie for the tie. So I'm going to set that off to the side, and I just had a little piece. Oh, there it is. And I'm just going to start positioning all of my dies on here because I should be able to cut everything in one pass. So just going to stick everything on here just like so. And if I can't, it's not that big of a deal. I just like to, you know, be as productive as possible. If I can get something done in one pass, I'm going to surely try. Got a couple more. This shirt I'm not as concerned with because there's nothing, I mean, as long as we cut in the cardstock, we'll be fine. And actually this is a little bit of a smaller piece, so I'm going to use it on this smaller one. Line that one up. Stick a little piece of washi, and then the last one I'm going to do with this big shirt. And all of this looks kind of funky until you put it together. And I promise once you put it together, it looks so adorable. Like I said, I was just kind of browsing and I saw somebody had done the kind of the same basic concept, but used some different colors and different techniques with the shirts and that kind of stuff. And I just absolutely fell in love. Like, I loved it. So I had to take it, mix it up, and make my own version. So I'm going to bring in my Big Shot now and knock my tripod. So hopefully you guys can still see what I'm doing. I'm actually going to move it a little bit more so I can crank the handle. My tripod's right here, so I can't move it too closer. It's going to knock my tripod. Okay, so I'm going to start positioning everything on here as best as possible. Stick that there, and then stick my little lace piece and my shirt right there. Now what I'm going to do, because I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever switched my cutting plates out, so they're a little dirty, as I'm sure you can see. So one thing when I was creating this card last night, I noticed that the embossing powder was kind of sticking to some of the dirty bits that I have on my plates. Now, yes, I can just wash them. I should probably do that anyways. But I found that just taking a piece of copy paper, so this is the same piece of copy paper that I used when I was stamping the lace, and just putting this right over this really helps to keep the dirty stuff from getting onto my lace shirt. And it doesn't make it any harder to crank it through. It really doesn't add any bulk. It just helps to keep that shirt nice and pristine and looking beautiful. So I'm gonna move my Big Shot out of the way so I can grab all of this, my sandwich. Yeah, it really doesn't make a huge difference as far as the bulk goes. So I've just found that that kind of works well for me. Okie dokie, so I'm going to take all of this stuff and move it over here and then start popping our little pieces out. One thing that I recommend is I always have my magnetic sheet to the side. As I take a die off of the paper, I really try, oh, I didn't crank that one through all the way. Shoot. I think I can probably just cut that loose. I try to take my dies off and put them right back onto my magnetic sheet so they at least have a home and they're not just kind of like flying all over the place, because I have lost dies before and that's how it happens. So it is really good to kind of put your pieces on some magnetic sheets if you can. I find that it really does help. It helps, for me, I like the organization of it, and then it also, it helps so that you don't lose stuff. So this little sleeve was just attached just slightly. I didn't quite get it through my Big Shot very well, but I just cut that loose a little bit. It just needed a little encouragement to break free. So I'm going to set those aside and then pop out my little shirt. Ugh, I just love that so much. I think it looks so pretty. Ugh, okay. Anyways, let's start assembling everything. So let's start with the groom shirt. So I'm going to set those two pieces. So we need these two for the groom shirt. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be using some glue dots to assemble this. So this is a little collar piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a glue dot on the top on both sides. And I'll show you why that's important here in a second. You really want to try and leave where this V is, you want to leave that part as glue free as possible. I promise it'll make your life easier here in a second. So then I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want this to go and stick it down. There's no right or wrong way to do it, guys. I promise whatever you do is going to look awesome. So now I'm going to take my little tie here and I'm going to put one glue dot on the bottom and then another right on the top. And you can put one in the middle just for good luck. Why not? Oh, that one didn't even stick. There we go. So the reason that I wanted to leave this little part here as open as possible is because now I'm just going to gently pull it up and you can slide your tie right underneath there and it really gives it a nice finished look. I think it looks really, really nice like that. That's just me though. What do I know? Who knows? I don't. That's just what I did, and I liked the way that it looked and the way that it turned out. So there's our little groom shirt, so we can set that off to the side. Now to assemble the bridal shirt, I'm going to again use my glue dots, and this one you don't have to be as particular about. I'm just going to do one glue dot on each side. You could use your fine tip glue pen for this if you felt like that would work. I just had my glue dots, and I thought that it seemed easy to use glue dots, so that's what I went ahead and used. You want to, when you put this collar on, you want to make sure, oops, that you don't mess it up like I'm trying to do. You want to make sure that the curve fits right, the curve of the collar and the curve of the actual shirt just fit right up together. And it's super easy to put together just like that. Now for this, we're not done yet. We are going to glam it up a little bit. And this is where our little pearls are going to come in handy. So let me grab this tool here. So we have these little itty bitty tiny pearls, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these on each side. So there are 4 dots on each side of the collar. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put one pearl on the outermost and then skip one and then do another pearl on that little dot. So here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I did one on the outermost dot, and then I skipped a dot, and now I'm going to put a pearl on that one. Hopefully that makes sense. So we'll do it with the other side as well. Whoops. Pearls flying everywhere. So here's the outermost dot. I'm going to put a pearl right there. Just like that. And then I'm going to skip one dot. So I'm skipping that one, and then I'm putting another pearl down. Just like so. So stinking cute. Now I'm going to take one of these larger pearls and I'm going to put this right in the middle. Oops. Put it up just a little bit. right about there. Perfect. Super easy, but I really do think that it adds a lot to this card. It really takes it up a notch, I think. I really, really like this. Adding the pearls to it. Okay, so now we have our 2 shirts. I'm going to set both of these off to the side, and let's finish up our stamping. Where did I just put that piece of paper? Oh, I threw it on the ground. I still need it. Oh, this is a different piece of paper. I think I'm losing my mind. Anyways, this will be fine. So I just want a scratch piece of paper that I can stamp off on, so I'm not stamping on my desk. Now we're going to take the Congrats stamp from the same set, and I'm going to use Mint Macaron ink for this, and I'm going to get it nice and inked up. And I'm going to start by stamping this one time right in the center-ish. And then I'm just going to work my way out. Oops, that one I didn't stamp very well. Let's see if I can fix it. Sorry for my big head in the way. Okay, so there's that one. And then one more off to the side, just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right-hand side. So, dun, 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 dun. And one more, just like that. So now we have this cute little congrats banner for our card. So cute. Okay, now I need to find on my super messy desk some dimensionals, because we're going to start putting all of this together. So I'm going to grab my 2 shirts. I have my dimensionals here. I'm going to flip these bad boys over. I'm going to do, let's say, 3 dimensionals on this one. 1, 2, 3 dimensionals on that one. Sounds good to me. And I'm just going to take the backings off, and I'm going to just kind of place them where I think I want them to go. The nice thing is you can kind of move them around a little bit and really situate them where you want them before you stick them down permanently. Now remember, we're going to have that little thin banner down here at the bottom, so you don't want to move them all the way to the bottom. You want them to kind of be a little bit more towards the top. I'm going to put that one there, and then this one right here. I think that looks super cute. Oh, I seriously love this card so much. You guys have no idea. I'm just going to take some regular adhesive and put this on the back, this little banner piece, and put this down right here towards the bottom. Now I'm going to take my little piece of Tip Top Taupe, fold that in half, put some more adhesive on the back, whoops, stick it down on here, and then our card is going to be done. Oh, this is so cute. I absolutely love this card so much. I cannot get over how much I love this. I just think it's such a cute idea, and it's so easy to do. I'm telling you, it looks like there's a lot of steps, but it's really not hard, guys. I promise. This one is so stinking easy. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's card. Don't forget that you can go and get any of these supplies 24/7 by visiting my Stampin' Up page, which is, I can't speak now. My Stampin' Up page, it's littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. You can shop all of these products 24/7. Like I said, this lace, this, why can't I remember the name of this? Delicate Details. Whew, I'm really losing it. This Delicate Details stamp is part of Celebration. So spend $50, you get to pick a free item from the catalog, from the Celebration catalog. It's a super great deal going on right now. I would highly suggest going over and at least checking it out, seeing what you can get your hands on, and making some fun projects. So I really hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!